we're going to put this into this. And why is that? Well, firstly, have a look at this. Doesn't this look better, nice and clean after a proper injector replacement job and fix everything up? Anyway, a few more little things to fix up, but we've only got a day on this vehicle. There's only 2 of us here. We haven't got a magic wand. We can't perform miracles. We can get a lot done, but you know, no. Can you do miracles?
Not really.
I haven't got a magic wand. You got one? No, no magic wand.
That's not magic.
Unbelievable. Here we go. So we finished the job. We're doing our final inspection. We're almost finished. You know, almost. It's it's not finished till it's finished, but we've talked about this before, and most people, you know, the regulars know what we're talking about. I'm going to get down there and show you the rubbish. I'm going to try and get down there anyway, the rubbish. To be really clear. Where is it? I can't even see where I put the camera. That's it right there. See that thing in the picture there? That's rubbish. That is your short suction control valve, right? You can see it from up here, right? I went right down there. You saw the thing. I'm going to get in the position. See that thing down there, right? That's it, right where I'm pointing, right there. We've got to take that plug off. You don't take the fuel line off, do you?
I do now. You
do now, okay. So you used to not do it. So I'll take the fuel line off, but look at the dodgy clamp. Someone's put a bloody gardening clamp. There's a gardening clamp on the fuel line. Yeah, go gardening, mate. It's, what do you call it? Anyway, genuine fuel hoses, genuine clamps, not these gardening clamps. I call them gardening clamps, right? Because Toyotas don't use gardening clamps. Look, they use self-tension clamps like that, see? All 3. Look at that. Anyway, we've got to get down there. We've got to get the SCV out. And we've got to put this upgraded one in there. So let's get it out of the box. So we've got some suction control valve videos. Just search SCV. And I've had a few questions lately about there's a few different SCVs for a start, so don't just be assuming which one and what. People ask me, oh, is it the same one for this and that? Well, sometimes yes and sometimes no, okay? So the best way to go by is the VIN number. Obviously what we specialise in, all the Prados and Hiluxes, we know which ones they take. We've got 3 different on the shelf. They're in stock. There's no point changing this without changing your injectors. Your injectors are your problem. The SCV, it's just your fuel pressure, okay? So, but if you've got the short one, it's rubbish, and your fuel pressure is probably all over the joint, whether you're seeing it on the scan tool or not. It's going to run a whole lot more efficient with this, and you're never going to change it again. It is a wear and tear item. I've said it before, but it's probably going to last forever. So I've just got to put the camera down and open this up, cut this 3 little bits of tape I've got to cut. 1, 2, 3. So the way it works is I video. So we work together. I video, he does the work. It's awesome, isn't it? Anyway, I do the food and the drinks and the videos and the instructions and get the parts ready. Anyway, this is the SCV. This is the long one. It's a beautiful thing, right? Because once you do it, the vehicle runs in peak condition. It runs really well. The long one. So there's a push type and a pull type, and you always get that little bit of dusting there just from it rubbing on the plastic, you know. It came from Japan. See, look, made in Japan. You know, they're not all made in Japan, but there it is. That one's made in Japan. What do we need here? We're going to use this spacer. We're going to use these bolts. I'll tell you, we'll tip everything out so the easiest way to do it. Onto the clean bench. These are the guide pins. We talked about installing SCVs in another video, so we're not going to go too far. This one comes with a little nozzle already installed on the end and the O-ring, but we need to work out. There's only 2 O-rings in this kit. This is the simple kit, right? A lot of people are going to get these, but you don't always get this one, and you need to refer to our SCV videos on YouTube. Public, I believe. There might be some more in the detailed ones in the VIP group, but 1 O-ring, you use the molly coat. Another use, that molly coat 111, 111 uses of molly coat. So it's 111. I've got it here actually, it's right here, look at this. What's the chances? It was within arm's reach. There it is. So that comes in handy to install your SCV. Tiny little bit on this O-ring. Not much at all. Tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. A fair bit on these, I don't mind, because one goes, we want it to sit in that recess there, and the other one, it's just a slight recess, but you've got to sit it really square, right? Because follow the other videos is best, but once you've got the correct O-ring, that one, glued in there with the molly coat or similar, right? Because you go like that and guess what happens? It falls out. That's why, see? That's why we need to do it. Anyway, then that will go with that deep recess, will go on like that first with the O-ring in there. And because you've got molly coat, it'll kind of like stick there like that. And this other O-ring that's got a tiny, hardly got any recess, well, guess what? If you're trying to put that in, it's not going to sit square, is it? It needs to, so you're kind of using the molly coat to glue that O-ring in position so it's nice and square on the end there. And we've shown you in other SCV videos. I'm not going to waste too much time here. I'm trying to come up with something different to what we did in the other videos. And then what's going to happen is, right, so all this is going to be glued in place. The other one's going to be out of the vehicle. You got that one out yet? Can't hear you, mate. You got that one out? No, shaking his head, mate. You know, I'm trying to get some bit of interaction here with the video, mate. Have you got that SCV out yet?
Nope.
Okay, is that all you got? Okay, cool. That's all right. No worries. We can work on that. Basically, once we get the other one out, we get the short one out. That's rubbish. We've said that in a number of videos. This one's going to go in. The guide pins, one of them we don't use because, look, when you go to put it in, this is the problem. It's kind of around this way. It's been a while. Hey, how long since I put an SCV in? Don't answer that. Right, so it's kind of like round this way like this, and there's not a lot of space between here to get your fingers to get things in and out. So what I do, when I used to do them, done plenty of them. Anyway, I put the guide pin in at the front side, at the closest side here, and that way you could, you know, forget about all this for a minute. Let's just, let's put that down like that. Here's a different way of doing videos, right? Put it all down to instead of stopping. Right, bang, that's in. The guide pin, one of them's sort of sitting up here because you screw this in. See, it's got a thread on it. This screws into the back of the pump, just a couple of turns, right? So that's sitting, and this sort of, as you put it in, bang, that's your guide pin like that. And then what I do, I've got the, you need the long bolts. These are the long bolts. They're longer than the other ones. And that'll already be a little bit of molly coat in the head of that so it doesn't fall out. And it'll already be on my Allen key. What size is that Allen key? I forgot, 4 or 5? What are they? 5, okay, 5 mil. Hand signals again, mate. It's okay to speak, all right? What are we trying to do? Mate, we'll get a bit of B1, B2 going on here in a minute. So, basically, yeah, a bit of, you know, a bit of lube, bit of molly coat in that hole there. Stick the 5 mil Allen key on a little quarter drive. It goes in here this side. Oh, see, I do get dirty hands every now and then, sometimes. And it goes in, finger tight at the back here, and then you take this guide pin out, you know, take it out, and then bang, get your other bolt, you know, in this side. There's probably a torque spec, and I've never used it, and it could be going into, is that part of the pump alloy? I can't remember, it might be, so don't over tighten it, but I do them up fairly bloody tight, and there's a whole heap of thread, so it's unlikely you're going to damage any thread, but just nice and firm, because tightness doesn't seal it, even though there is a gasket there that you reuse. See, there you go. I might not have mentioned that in another video. There is a flat gasket that goes, not at this side here, it goes on the, where the O-ring goes, on the flat O-ring side, right? Against the pump, let's say. It might even stay stuck on the back of the pump if we're lucky. If he gets that SCV out and it's still stuck there, I'll show you. It's a little flat gasket, metal gasket like the rest of them. And sometimes it falls off though. So you need to check it. To be quite honest, if it fell out and you didn't have it there, probably wouldn't matter. And later models, they don't even have the gasket there. It's the O-ring is what seals it, right? But it needs to be all square and happy and all that. So bang, it goes in, just nice and tight. Generally what seals it is the O-ring. So there's a gasket there on some of them and there's not on later ones. So there you go. So there's even a chance that you don't even need to use the gasket and they did away with it. But to be quite honest, it's there. It's not going to hurt. That's what I've done so far. I've used the gasket on the ones that it's already there. You certainly don't get a new gasket with any of the new SCVs. So that must kind of mean that maybe you don't need it. It's the O-ring. Makes sense, yeah. It's like people that tighten things up. Mate, you're just going to pull the threads, wreck the bolts, whatever. It's not how tight that holds some things. It's the O-ring that seals it, right? So a lot of things like that. What's more important is getting the O-ring central. If it's on a pipe and you've got to put a pipe into somewhere and you've got a lot of side pressure pushing it, so it'll crush at one side and be loose at the other. That's where you get a leak. You've got to have something central and then clamped. Get it, right? Okay, important stuff, right? Easy stuff to do, but apparently there's not that many people around with these skills to get it right the first time. So we're here to share that information. Not that we know everything. We can get plenty of things wrong and far from know everything, but we're happy to share what we know, right? We like this stuff. 111 purposes. We don't know what they all are. Anyway, let's go back to the vehicle because by now we should have got it out. What's going on, mate? Got it out yet or what?
Soon, very soon.
Soon? Very soon. Can I keep videoing and get you, what, you know, we'll show it, lifting it out, and this will be like, because I don't know if we've done action, because when I do it, I've got to sort of tell people this is what we do, and then I've got to do it. Like, I can't really get a camera. Certainly we can't get a camera. The best I can do is kind of like, yeah, it's not bad. So what are you actually doing down there? Fluffing around. You're trying to get that, is that the second bolt? Right, so it's on our little quarter drive with a 5mm. There it is, here it is. All right, get that out of here. Now we're ready to get that SCV off. So good timing. I did enough talking over there. We lost a lot of the people that reckon I waffle too much. They're gone. Right, but just a gentle wiggle and pull and it'll just sort of pop off. And if we're lucky, the gasket will stay there. And sometimes they get a bit sticky. It's been in there for nearly 400,000 kilometers. There it is. Going to come out. Needs to be very clean down there. We don't want to get any. All right, there it is. We'll go back to the right. Moments later at the back cave. That's that gasket I'm talking about, right? Sometimes they stay stuck on the back of the pump. This time it didn't. But what we're going to do, we're going to stick it on the back of the pump. We're going to put this on the pump, or we're going to leave it on the SCV, aren't we? Yeah, now that it's here, bang, so that we're going to put it, I'll just leave that sitting there for now. All right. We're going to, like I said, we're going to get the molly coat and put the O-rings. I'm sure I've shown that in the video. Do you want to do should we show them in the video? Can we keep rolling? Let's just keep rolling anyway. What do you reckon? Keep rolling. You've done this before. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to stop talking now. How about you do some talking for once? All smiles and head shakes. yeah, I know. All right. Plenty of lube on the O-ring. How do you know which one's which?
Take a lucky guess.
Yeah, the big one fits in the big recess. That's pretty easy to remember, isn't it? The big one. But in the other kit, there's 3 O-rings. So I actually push it in more than that, and I paint the whole flat surface. I get a bit crazy with the molly coat, personally. So everyone's got a different amount of molly coat and whatever. Right. And that one, I really like to give it a good coat as well, because it's kind of like, that's what's going to hold it in position on that almost flat face. And you want to get it as central as you can, because we already talked about these O-rings being central, right? Now, the back of the pump's got a taper on it, like a 45-degree taper. That's it, that's what I'm talking about, a nice little, that's it. And you put that on the SCV, then put the gasket on? Is that what you do? You can get this out, I'll just put that there, whatever. You do whatever you do, mate, just because we're videoing. Are you thinking which way it goes? Big goes in this way, big goes against the thing.
The gasket.
Yeah. Or do you put the gasket? Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm thinking too. No, the gasket goes out here. Yes, so put that on. Yeah, that's it. Put that on. But were you thinking what I'm thinking, B2? Yeah. Anyway, it's all good. All right, here we go. Should we wipe the fuel off the gasket? Yes. So it's clean so that it sticks to the molly coat. I reckon it's probably not a bad idea. Let's do that. So these are just those typical little metal gaskets Toyota use with a coating over them. They're really awesome. Let's give it a polish up with that rag. Beautiful. Best you can, whatever. Like I said, it's really not going to do much anyway, because it's the O-ring that seals it. I reckon we could put it together without that. But this is one of those things where you don't know. This isn't necessarily in the, you go back to the books and you sort of don't really know, because it doesn't talk about it. The old books will tell you, oh, put the gasket in, and then the new, the new SCV, it's like, well, guess what? You've got to work it out. So this is what works for us. I don't think it's going to hurt to have that gasket there. If you like the video so far, remember to smash that like button, because we're really putting in the time here to get you some videos. That's it. Make sure it's all square and happy. You're going to put the guide pin in on the car first, whatever, yeah. All right, let's go back. There we are right now. I just want to show you that guide pin in the back of the pump before we go any further, just quickly. I'm going to try anyway. There's not a lot of room to get down there with a camera. So I'm trying, right? There's the guide pin. There's the back of the pump. Can you almost see the taper on the back of the pump? And it is alloy, right? So you're tightening up to alloy and there's a taper there. All right, mate, you can go in there with that. I won't embarrass you now because you're going to drop it and stuff it up and everything. I'll get back a bit while you get in there. Mate, how many of these have you done lately? Like
a few.
This year, a few. I mean, we're talking at least double digits, yeah? So you've had enough break. Am I in your way, am I? Is that the problem? I'm in your way? Can you see what you're doing? Is that in the way there if I go like that? I'll get back here a bit. So, look, we don't need to video this anyway. Obviously, like we said, you're going to slip it in the hole. guide pin at the closest, at that near his finger there. That guide pin's going to go right over there. And each to their own, but I don't like to let it go. I like to hold it there and have the other bolt ready to go. I don't know if you're as organised as me, but some people are happy to let it go. You want me to get out the way? Here you go. You get your other thing in there, whatever. Got to swap hands. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, this is good. You won't see anything, guys, but look. Oh, so you didn't have it ready. Yeah. Now you're getting ready now. See? See. But what you can do, you can let it go because that's what you normally do. So don't change what you're doing for me. I'm just saying how I do it. If you're confident to let it go and then get back in there. But what I do, yeah, I have it all prepared, ready to go. Anyway, that's it. You know how it works now, guys. You put those bolts in, you nip it up, you plug it back in, you're in business and you've got perfect fuel pressure forever. And that helps this engine run in peak condition without blowing smoke, without wasting fuel, without making Toyotas look like Nissans. We can say that now because not many Nissan owners stayed to the end. And if they did, they're really seriously contemplating buying a Toyota. I know there's a lot of people like that. And people have done that. Lots of people message me all the time and say, hey, mate, because of you, I bloody sold whatever and bought a Toyota. So Toyota, you should be sending me commission on propping up the brand because, you know, it's the best brand anyway, natural. I'm just helping people understand it. Anyway, so to be in peak condition, and this is a one job that never needs to be done again. All right, mate, say goodbye to everyone. We're going now.
See ya.
Bye.